The Brewers take on the Pirates, 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Milwaukee Brewers are minus 250 with a total at 8, juice to the under. If you like the Pirates in an upset win at home here, they're plus 210 for some money line cash. The Pirates are also plus $1.25, catching the 1.5 on the run line. Will Crow's the starting pitcher for Pittsburgh. Corbin Burns for Milwaukee. And we're coming fresh off a 4-1 day in our 5 premium sports picks on my Patreon website yesterday. And that's going to put us at 3-0 in our last 3 board member tier package picks on that Patreon page. And the good news is we have another board member tier package pick going off here in the early afternoon Eastern Time. And if you sign up for a board member tier membership here today, you're going to get access to every single premium pick that I give out on Patreon every single day through the end of July. Now, we're also 3-1 in our last 4 Major League Baseball tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. And of course, we have yet another MLB tier package pick going off here this evening as well. Now, we finished the month of June with over 1,150 members who were signed up and active on that site. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the first place Brewers are 15 games above 500, and they find themselves in the middle of an 8-game winning streak. The Brewers are also 10-5 straight up in their last 15 divisional road games. This Milwaukee pitching staff leads the majors in road strikeouts. They're also in the top 3 in road hits allowed. The Brewers are fanning 10.4 batters a game. Corbin Burns struck out 115 batters along with a .92 whip. The righty comes into today's contest with a 2.53 ERA. Now they're taking on a last place Pirates club who's 21 games below 500, and they also lost 4 out of their last 5. The Pirates have also been getting pummeled by divisional opponents. They've gotten the W in only 3 of 12 divisional games at PNC Park. They've also gone just 10-23 straight up against the NL Central at any location. This Pittsburgh lineup is dead last in scoring, and they average less than 7.6 hits a game. When it comes to the total in this one, Pittsburgh went 80% to the under in their last 10 ball games. Milwaukee's 3-1 to the under in their last 4 when traveling. I'm going to lean toward the Milwaukee Brewers minus 1.5 and the under 8 runs. Next matchup, Dodgers versus the Nationals, 7:05 Eastern start time. The LA Dodgers are minus 140, numbers 9.5. Tony Gonsolin for Los Angeles, Patrick Corbin for Washington. Now, the Nationals have climbed back to just 2 games behind New York for first place in the NL East. The Nats are currently on a 4-game winning streak, and they got the W in 14 out of their last 17. This Nats lineup is in the top 10 in hits on average per contest. They're also in the top 5 in fewest strikeouts per game at home. Kyle Schwarber's in the top 5 in the league in homers. The outfielders hit 25 bombs and knocked in 53. Schwarbs also has an OPS of 903. Meanwhile, Trey Turner's in the top 10 in the league in batting average. The shortstop's hitting .318 with 161 total bases. Now, they're taking on a Dodger club who lost 3 out of their last 4 road games. And if you're looking to get a little value on the run line here, the Dodgers have failed to cash in on the run line in their last 4 straight road games as well. Just 30% against the number in their last 10 outings at any location. Now, Tony Gonsolin takes the mound here today for Los Angeles, still looking for his first win despite very limited action. The righty's coming into today's contest with a 1.54 whip. When it comes to the total in this one, the Dodgers went 70% to the under in their last 10 ball games, 17-12 to the under in their last 29 divisional road games. Meanwhile, Washington has gone 28-9 to the under in their divisional games at Nationals Park. I'm going to lean toward the Washington Nationals plus 1.5 and the under 9 and a hook. Next ball game, Astros, Indians, 7:10 p.m. East. The Houston Astros are minus 185, totals 8.5. Framber Valdez for Houston, J.C. Mejia for Cleveland. And despite limited action here this season, Mejia comes into today's contest with a 1.18 whip. The righty's averaging just about one strikeout an inning as well. The Indians are 21-15 at Progressive Field, top 10 in striking batters out at home. They're taking on a Houston club who lost 5 out of their last 6 ball games, and that includes a 3-game sweep to the last place Orioles. This Houston pitching staff is in the bottom half of the league in strikeouts per 9. When it comes to the total on this one, the Astros went 23-14 to the over in their road games against the American League. Meanwhile, the Indians are 22-10 to the over in their home games against the American League themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Cleveland Indians plus 1.5 and the over 8.5 runs. Next ball game, Padres versus the Reds, 7:10 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The Cincinnati Reds are minus 120, totals 9.5. Luis Castillo for Cincinnati, Ryan Weathers for San Diego. Now Weathers is 3-2 on the year with a 2.47 ERA and a 1.01 whip. The Red Hot Padres are on a 3-game winning streak, and they also got the W in 11 out of their last 12. This Padres pitching staff allows just 3.6 runs a game. They're also averaging double-digit strikeouts a game as well. They're taking on a Cincinnati team who lost 3 out of their last 4. And they also have a losing record at the Great American Ballpark. Cincy's in the bottom 3 in runs allowed at home, and they're walking over 4.2 batters a game on their home field. Luis Castillo comes into today's start with a dismal 3-10 record, along with a 5.14 ERA. The righty's also got himself a 1.48 whip. When it comes to the total on this one, Cincinnati's 22-12 to the over against the National League at home. They're also 48-31 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, the Padres went 70% to the over in their last 10 themselves. They're also 23-14 to the over when they bat first. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the San Diego Padres plus 105 in the over 9.5 runs. Next contest, Mets, Braves, 7:20 East. The New York Mets are minus 165, number 7. Jacob deGrom for New York, Ian Anderson for Atlanta. Anderson's 5-4 in the year with a 3.42 ERA. The righties also struck out 88 batters in just over 81 innings of work. Atlanta's won 3 out of their last 5 ball games, top 5 in the league in home scoring. Ronald Acuna's in the top 10 in both homers and OPS. The outfielders hit 22 homers and has an OPS of 987. Meanwhile, Ozzie Albies has 15 homers on the year himself. Now, the second baseman has a staggering 43 extra base hits already as well. Now, they're taking on a Mets club who lost 3 out of their last 4. And to be truthful, they just don't play well enough on the road, no matter who they have on the mound, even a guy as dominant as Jacob deGrom. Now, the Mets have gotten the W in just 17 out of 41 road games. They also lost 11 out of their last 19 divisional road games as well. This Mets lineup is in the bottom 5 in hits on average per contest. They're averaging only 3.5 runs a game. Now, total-wise, New York's 24-17 to the over as the road team. Meanwhile, the Braves have gone 27-15 to the over at Truist Park. I'm going to lean toward the Atlanta Braves plus 1.5 and the over 7.5 runs. Next ball game, Cards, Rockies, 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The St. Louis Cardinals are minus $1.25, numbers 11 juice to the under. Adam Wainwright for St. Louis, Antonio Senzatella for Colorado. Despite some lackluster numbers out of Senzatella, the Rockies play their best baseball at Coors Field. They're 28-16 as the home team. And they also find themselves on a 3-game winning streak. Colorado is currently in the top 3 in the majors in home scoring. They're also in the top 3 in home hits. Ryan McMahon's hit 16 homers and knocked in 44. Meanwhile, Raimel Tapia, he's in the top 20 in the majors in batting average. The outfielder is hitting .291 with 122 total bases. The Rockies are also cashing in on the run line in over 68% of their home games. They're taking on a Cardinals team who plays their worst baseball on the road. St. Louis got the win in just 17 out of 40 road games. Their lineup's also in the bottom 3 in road hits, and they average only 3.9 runs a game. The Cards have also got themselves a losing record at 1 game below 500 for the year. When it comes to the total on this one, the Cards are 22-13 at the over against the National League on the road. Meanwhile, the Rockies are 21-15 to the over against the National League at home. I'm going to lean toward the Colorado Rockies plus 105 and the over 11 runs. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup. It is going to be Giants versus the D-backs, 7:40 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The San Francisco Giants are minus 145, numbers 9. Johnny Cueto for San Francisco, Merrill Kelly for Arizona. Now, Kelly's just 4-7 on the season with a 4.73 ERA and a 1.29 whip. The Diamondbacks still have the worst record in the majors and now finds themselves 38 games below 500. They also got the W in just 12 out of 36 home games. The Diamondbacks are dead last in the majors in runs allowed. They're also dead last in hits allowed as well. They're taking on a first-place Giants club who's 21 games above 500, and they lead the majors in fewest runs allowed on the road. The Giants give up just 3.4 runs a game when they travel. They also lead the majors in fewest walks given up per 9. Johnny Cueto's 6-3 thus far in the season with a 3.63 ERA. Now, total-wise, San Francisco's gone 20-13 to the over in their divisional games. Meanwhile, Arizona's 23-13 to the over at Chase Field. I'm going to lean toward the San Francisco Giants minus 145 and the over 9 runs. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Milwaukee minus 1.5 under 8 runs. Washington plus 1.5 under 9.5. Cleveland plus 1.5 over 8.5 runs. San Diego plus 105 over 9.5. Atlanta plus 1.5 over 7 runs. Colorado plus 105 over 11. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 3-0 in our last 3 board member tier package picks on my Patreon website. We're also 3-1 in our last 4 Major League Baseball tier package picks on that Patreon page as well. I'm going to lean toward the San Francisco Giants minus 145 and the over 9 runs. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys end up getting a package here today on my Patreon website, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So today on the first of the month, it's a max value day. If you sign up for a package, you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of July. So certainly a good value. I always say the earlier in the month you sign up on Patreon, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.